I did. Ebony was just like, wait, say it again. But it was really good. I really enjoyed, and even as an entrepreneur, like I learned a lot from a financial perspective, and I really appreciated it. So it was great. So guys, on my Facebook, if you want to catch that, I shared it in my story yesterday. So you should be able to still catch it now, but on replay, you want to go to Josiah Brock, Jesiah Brock, which is Brock, and make sure you follow him, like the page so that you can see the previous speakers as well as the upcoming speakers, and follow all of his stuff because he's kind of a cool guy. I'm just saying.
Well, this is amazing as well. And the reason why we're providing 5 different workshops is because different people are in different places in their lives. And there are different things that people might want to change, to tackle for this that we're moving into. So for some people, it might have been your finance. For some people, maybe it's your health. So let's say you make $1 million, you manage it well, but you're not healthy enough to enjoy it. What's the point? So we have a great expert here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read her bio. And again, the bio is short because she does a lot of amazing stuff and has done a lot of amazing stuff. And so I'm going to read it. And then we'll let Coach Cailah go into depth a little bit more into her, into her life, into what she's doing, and how she can help you. So, Coach Cailah, she has 14 years of experience in the fitness and athletic performance industries. She's helped hundreds of clients lose thousands of pounds and eliminate dozens of medications. That's you. Now, Ms. Brock, she travels the country teaching on health, nutrition, and fitness. Those certifications as a certified strength and conditioning specialist, a health coach, and a personal trainer. Cailah has also earned both her bachelor's and master's degrees in coaching, education, exercise physiology, and fitness management. And as a competitive powerlifter and a bikini athlete, Coach Cailah can help you to your goals. And what I will also say is Coach Cailah is actually also my little sister. So that last part there about the bikini model thing, I don't like that piece. But other than that, I'm very proud of her. And even though she's related to me, all jokes aside, really does help people all over the country to not just reach their goals, but exceed their goals. I believe someone said, if you aim for the moon, you may or may not make it. If you aim for the stars, at least you will land amongst the moon. So we are excited to have her here with us. If you are joining us on Zoom, joining us here on Facebook Live, again, welcome to you guys. So again, we have somebody that's joined us. My mom joined us here on Zoom. So again, if you join us on Zoom, we ask that you can mute yourself and come on in and welcome. We're so happy to have all you guys here with us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're just going to continue to jump on in here. Okay, so we're going to change the view here.
If you're watching on Facebook, do me a favor, go ahead and share this message, okay? Share the video so that your friends can watch it, or start a watch party, because we're going to get into some really good information that's going to be helpful for you. Something that you can maintain today, tomorrow, and as your state opens up. I know we're in Ohio, so Ohio's opening up now, but as your state opens up, you'll be able to take some of these tips and really utilize them to help yourself, your family, your life. All right? Let's get this thing going.
All right. And we're so excited. So if you're joining us on Zoom, come on in. Please put yourself on mute. This is a very interactive and virtual, moving, breathing workshop that we're having, and so you have multiple perspectives when it's there on Zoom, and you can also the perspective from Facebook. It's almost like an at-home on your couch watching the TV thing. It's going to be fun. So, Cailah, I did something really interesting today.
What'd you
do? I wanted a hamburger and French fries for lunch, but I knew that we were doing this, so I specifically I got like a vegan lunch, so that I can feel more confident in talking to you about health and wellness. I knew you would be proud of me for doing that.
I am proud of you.
Thank you. We talk a lot about health and wellness. And I think sometimes people think that they might be healthy, and they may or may not actually be healthy. There's, hey, I'm alive, I can move, I can breathe, I can function, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're healthy.
Right.
Can you define what health is? What does it mean to be healthy? What is health?
Health is a state of being, right? So it's a natural state. Some people define health very narrowly in terms of just the absence of disease, right? Or the body's dis-ease. So we want to look at beyond disease itself. We want to look at homeostasis. We want to look at emotional health. We want to look at financial health. We want to look at all the different areas of health and wellness to describe yourself as healthy. I wrote a book several years ago called Design Your Body, Your Guide to Cutting Through the Fat. Go ahead and purchase it now. It is on Amazon. It is on Kindle. It is on all that stuff. So go ahead and purchase it. It's probably about $9.99. I get $2.50. So help me out. Get as many as you can. But in that book, I describe what I call the Trinity of health and wellness. All right. Now, in the Trinity of health and wellness, I believe that you cannot be completely healthy without all three of these aspects. One, you already know it. You know that's going to be nutrition. Having nutrition that works for your body. We'll dive into the details later. Two is cardiovascular endurance. Most people understand that you got to do some form of cardio. You have to, no matter whether you like it or not. And again, we'll get into the details later. And the third is resistance training. Unfortunately, a lot of women miss resistance training. They want to go and only do cardio and eat moderately okay. So if you're scoring 1.5 out of 3, you're not completely healthy. Or we have a lot of guys on the reverse end who might do, a lot of resistance training or powerlifting, whatever else, and they might eat like crap and do little cardio. That's 1 out of 3. You're not getting it. So if you have a balance, as you have, so if there is a balance of adequate resistance training, adequate cardiovascular endurance, and proper nutrition for your body type in the place you are today, that indicates health. You can feel health with how you sleep. Are you sleeping through the night? You can feel health with your skin. Is it a little rough? Do we got some craters? Are there, your pores extra large? We can see that. You can indicate health by your eyes. Are your eyes yellow, super dark yellow? Do they have a lot of lines through them? There are hundreds of ways that our bodies shout for help. And again, we'll go through a few of those today, but long story short, 3 areas to really start your healthy journey. Adequate nutrition, adequate cardiovascular endurance, and resistance training in equal balance.
In equal balance. So, yeah, I raised my hand to show everyone, I have to be honest, I'm one of those guys you're talking about that just lifts weights. I'll do a little bit of cardio sometimes, like once a week maybe, but I'll hit the weight and then I'll eat kind of whatever and I'll call it bulking.
That's what we call it, yep.
And then I say, okay, I'm just going to cut all this fat later, but I'm just going to bulk up and enjoy it now. So even though I was active, it doesn't mean I was healthy. I was living a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly.
So let's break this up into women and men, okay? So let's talk about the women first. Why is it important that women, I don't want to assume, is it important for women to lift weights? I've heard that it's important, especially as women get older. Is it important? And if it is, why?
Absolutely, 100%. It's almost, in my opinion, more important for women to lift weights than men, right? And the reason being is because from birth, men naturally have almost double the muscle mass per square inch of their body as do women. Just naturally. So I remember when I was growing up, I was big and bad. I mean, I still kind of am, but more so when I was younger, because I was the same size as the guys. You gonna shake your head no? Because I was the same size as the guys, but I was able to hang with them. I remember we played basketball with the boys in the backyard. You know, we would race the boys. I played football with them. There was no changing. And then puberty hit, and I got left behind. So with guys, they naturally have literally not just more muscle, but literally more muscle mass, scientifically proven. Another fun fact is African Americans scientifically have higher bone mineral density and higher muscle mass compared to all other races.
Oh, okay. So the old thing when people say, "Oh, she's not fat, she's just big boned," that's a real thing.
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of, but not the way people think. So bone mineral density is literally having more mass to your bone so that your bones can sustain more weight. So when I'm in a heavy powerlifting season, my body puts on more bone mass so I can squat 2 times my body weight. 2.5 times my body weight. I put on more bone mineral density along with muscle mass so I can bench more than what I weigh. Because if my bones are, let's say the size of a hot dog, right? Let's say my ulna, right? It's the size of a hot dog. Because everybody knows what that looks like. It's about this thick, right? So if I'm bench pressing and my muscles get bigger, that means my muscles are at the point where they're going to tear away from the bone. That's where you get shin splints. You and I both have had some terrible shin splints. So when the bone itself grows, now we're at the point where our bone can support more muscle, which can support a bigger body. Now, an active body, a bigger body, not just a fat body, because muscle weighs more than fat. So that's the difference. When people say, I'm just big boned, yes, you may have more of a structure to hold a larger mass, but that's no excuse for excess fat.
Why do you think some women are afraid or shy away from hitting the weight? Usually when we go to the gym, so for those that don't know, I work at the YMCA. So at Sunwise, what we do is in many gyms, they will separate your free weight section from your cardio section. And because some people get intimidated by that. Why is it that some women believe that they shouldn't lift weights or they shy away from the free weight area? Why is that?
Regardless of being politically correct, women were raised to be weak and raised to be less and think themselves as less than, where we think that muscle isn't what I'm supposed to have. I'm supposed to be a dainty woman. I'm supposed to be this. I'm supposed to be that. My mom today will not wear flowers and she won't wear that kind of stuff. So I wasn't raised that way. So my disadvantage of not being raised like a typical woman has put me in this position. Mama, thank you. I appreciate you. So when we get to the point where we teach our young women to be weak by saying, oh, don't do that. Don't play with the boys. Don't look like the boys. You're getting too big. You're getting too strong. You need to calm down. Go sit down. Close your legs. Do this, do that. So we get to the point where we really put our women at a physical disadvantage, but it starts here. You're literally training a child to be okay with being physically weaker and suppressing their internal possible desires. And that physicality also transfers over to emotional wellness. It also transfers over to definitely mental wellness and then possibly spiritual in other areas. So when we have women feeling less than, it starts from how we were raised. It starts with what we see. It's a cultural awareness. It's the same thing. I know this has nothing to do with health and wellness, but it's the same thing with Black girls. We were raised to extend our hips so that we sit back so our butts look bigger. White girls weren't raised that way. They weren't. So they don't stand the same way we do. Now, you'll see some of those white girls on the dance videos or whatever else, and they've got a nice little sized booty. And why do they do that? Because culturally, that's what they looked up to. So if we have a cultural shift with our children, we can really pave the way for later their health. And then again, we get to the bodybuilding age where people they saw the women in the early phase of bodybuilding where they just became so, overly muscular, and they were taking steroids, and their voices changed, and they had the chin strap and the chin. So there are a lot of reasons as to why women don't want to lift weights, and it comes from societal norms. And one of my goals is to help to break that, because I want to be the biggest, baddest lady that you're going to see, lift as many weights as I can, power lift, do all that, and still be sexy, and still be feminine, and still be a woman. So you can squat, 300 pounds and still be bad. You can lift all this and still be physically feminine without being physically weak, because femininity and weakness are not synonyms.
That's really, really good. I think a lot of women are afraid to lift weights because they're told, or they think, hey, if I lift weights, I'll start to look like a man.
Yep.
I don't want to look like a man. And so tell us a little bit about the difference between, again, you're the expert, okay? So women don't have the same amount of testosterone as men, so they can't look like that unless they're taking steroids. Is that accurate?
Accurate. That is a factual statement. Men...
I know some things.
Men naturally have more testosterone, right? Women naturally have more estrogen. So women will naturally carry more fat mass than men. Naturally. Though guys can get fat, yes, women will carry more fat mass because of our estrogen hormones. Same thing with men in terms of testosterone. But that does not mean that obviously women cannot gain muscle mass where they want to, how they want to. But it means that their bone structure will not change because of testosterone. The voice will not deepen because of testosterone. So it's, again, that's where we get into the societal aspects of what we have feared. Like, I don't want to look like that. I don't want to look like a guy or a bodybuilder or this or that. Whatever you choose to feel is sexy, that's on you. But weakness is not associated with sexiness. That's the big difference that women need to understand.
Now, so let's shift to the guys,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So a lot of guys watch the action movies or the heroes on TV when we grow up,
Yep.
and we want to look. I don't know, people, depending on your age, you might remember who He-Man is.
Yes,
Those
He-Man.
big like He-Man.
Yep.
And then, now, I'm happy that I have never made this mistake. A lot of guys will walk around, they'll be real big up top, and they'll have like a toothpick for legs because they never work legs. So even in that, that's still not healthy.
At all.
What are
No.
some things that men, some misperceptions that a lot of guys who go to them have that they need to get rid of?
I mean, guys naturally are stronger upper body than women are. They naturally are. Women naturally carry their strength in their lower body. But like you're saying, a lot of guys, they just want to hit the muscle beach, the beach body areas, literally, and it comes from Muscle Beach. It literally comes from that. It comes from those old school images of what people told us what was sexy, what was acceptable. So I remember this cartoon. You probably remember it. Remember Johnny Bravo? Y'all remember Johnny? Give me a thumbs up on Facebook if you're watching this. If you remember Johnny Bravo. I used to love Johnny Bravo. So big guy, big dude up top, like, but little bitty stick legs. So guys, I don't know about you, but I personally feel like legs, a whole well-developed body is sexy. That is what it is. So if my quads are more developed than the dudes, oh my gosh, that is frustrating. I cannot tell you if I see dudes with little chicken legs, like, oh, so frustrating. It's like you're half the package, man. Like no. So health-wise, it is important too for dudes. Yes, squat. Yes, deadlift. Go lift some heavy weights. But also appealing-wise, that helps too, bro. Like that helps too.
So, how has the COVID-19 virus, how has this affected in your lifestyle and in your professional life?
Pros and cons, as everyone else. I work from home. I'm in one of my studios. But I've been able to watch, and it's interesting because I've been an online trainer for the past 5 years, and I've been a personal trainer for 14 years total. And so I've been online. So the online aspect of classes or individual workouts is nothing new, but it's amazing to see more people seeking out work at home. Whereas before their excuse was, oh, the gym is too far and it's too this. I see little old ladies outside, right outside this window, walking and doing their laps. And I honestly think that this is a great time for health, because people are so bored of being in the house that they want to get out and be active. You guys have heard of 10,000 steps a day. I remember studying in undergrad, and that 10,000 steps comes from a study of Amish people. So back in, not even a long day, but maybe about 20 years ago, they did a study and they put pedometers on a group of Amish people just to see how active were they, how many steps were they taking day to day. And on the low end, maybe some of your elders were taking around 8,000 steps, and on the high end, it was 20 or so. But on average, everyone was taking 10,000 steps a day. Now, if you don't know a lot about the Amish people, they build everything from scratch. They raise their houses with the wood. They do all that. They are working people. Now, that's who we are supposed to be. Not that we're supposed to be Amish, but our bodies are supposed to be in motion. We're supposed to be strong, lift things up over our heads, bend down, squat down. We're supposed to be active. And so 10,000 steps a day, I know people see that as a goal, and that's amazing that now more people are reaching that goal. And I want to challenge everyone that's watching this now on my Facebook, on your Facebook, 10,000 steps a day should be your minimum. And that can be really tough, but that should be your minimum. Just imagine, how long are you sitting down? Obviously, we're sitting down right now. So take a look at your daily lives, and really see, okay, what can I do to increase my steps? So if you're sitting down, get a ball. Bouncy balls count. You're burning calories with bouncy balls. I sit on mine every single day. If you're taking a phone call, get up, walk around. So I do a lot of workplace wellness presentations and giving small tips to help people stay active, but you have to have a mind to do more. And I really love this time because, again, people have a mind to be more active because they're tired of being in the house. And it's coming spring and summer, so that part has been amazing. The negative side has been nutrition. A lot of people are snacking, on unhealthy things because they're sitting down, Netflix and chill. Netflix came out with their own Netflix and chill ice cream. Did you see that? I thought it was pretty good. But, being at home does encourage you to snack on whatever you have in the refrigerator. So clean out your refrigerator. Get more fruits than you get unhealthy snacks. Get more greens, more purples, more reds. Get the good stuff. Most people understand what is healthier than potato chips, or than cookies. So just take those small, easy steps. The other positive things I will say is that because restaurants are closed, people are now cooking at home more often, which I totally appreciate. You know how we were raised. Family time, dinner time, that is, the most important thing in the entire world. And a lot of families have lost that. And now people are being able to get back to that. Just spending time, sharing a meal, just talking, that family wellness. That it's just like prayer. Like, it really ties you into that person. And it's so important. And I really appreciate how people are getting back to some of those roots. So I'll take the pros with the cons during this COVID pandemic.
Yeah. Talk more about how the pandemic has affected people. You touched on it. Talked about how we're more stationary, and you talked about our diet. So what happens to the body when we eat poorly and we sit more consistently week after week? What happens to the body?
You mentioned it earlier, as you age, your body will lose muscle mass. It's a phenomenon called sarcopenia. I'll spare the science, but basically, if you do the exact same thing every day, you will lose a minimum of 2 pounds of muscle every single year. Minimum. If you do the same thing, even if you exercise it, if you exercise every day the same way every day, you will still lose muscle mass. So that's with an active body that is not able to overcome the challenge of age. So imagine a passive body who isn't able to kind of sustain the excess activity. So you need to resistance train. You need to cardiovascular endurance, because what happens is, again, your muscles literally shrink. That's what sarcopenia is. Your muscles, it's a balloon, it literally shrinks. Therefore, you become more susceptible to falls, to injuries. So imagine your grandparents. If they fall, you know something's broken because of how old they are. But that can happen in our sedentary lives. Now, I'm 32 years old. That can happen now. If I don't stay active, if I don't exercise, the longer I sit, the smaller my butt gets. As a black woman, I don't want my butt to be small. If you don't want your butt to be small, get up, do some squats. That's my commercial for the day.
Bodies are actually changing and being affected because of all of this stuff, because of the just sitting and the negative or the poor nutrition. Now, this is the thing, though, and because I don't want you to, as a nutritionist, I'd like for you to kind of speak to some of that. Sometimes the poor nutrition is a choice.
Yes.
Because you have better options, but you're like, it's easier to do this. But I'll tell you, so many people have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
People, and the people that haven't lost their jobs, many of them have had a pay cut or pay decrease.
Yep.
So, and I'll tell you, when I was in the grocery store and I was so excited, I came back and stopped and figured out, and I was like, yeah, I made sure we were good.
Yeah.
I was looking for food that would last and that would sustain us long. Carby things, starchy things. I wasn't as concerned if they were good for me, but I was like, okay, if I lose my job, if my wife loses her job, I need to make sure we're good for a while.
Yes.
So let's say that you are in that state where you have had to make some decisions because of your budget and you are trying your best to survive. What are some healthy things that are not expensive a person could do, make sure that they can take care of themselves and their families and be healthy? I think that's a really good question. And I think it's something that people really need right now. Because everybody may not have the luxury of buying for color and getting, 80, 85, 90% lean beef, buffalo, ground beef and all that other stuff like that, lamb and all of that, like, look, we're going to get bologna, we're going to get, macaroni, some potatoes, because you're trying to stretch it, but this is, I did this, and literally a couple months ago, I did that same thing. Yeah. So what advice do you have for people that want to ensure that they're healthy, but are also on a budget, and they need to stick to that budget?
Excellent question. I'm going to give you a background story. So as this whole COVID situation happened, you guys know I'm an online trainer. I do all of my work, 99% of my work online with my clients. And as everyone knows, people have been losing their jobs, so I have lost several clients because they've lost their jobs. So as they've lost their jobs, they've had to cut services. So it affects my pocket. I can't tell you the last time that I personally purchased some lunch meat, but I sure did get lunch meat for this COVID situation. So as a professional, nutritionist, a health coach, all of that, Coach Cailah did go to the store and get some lunch meat. I got some mayo, I got some bread, I got some peanut butter. It was almond nut butter, but still, I did change my eating habits to protect my finances. And that's okay. I'm going to say two things as to why. The first thing is, what I do is I make my plate match my activity. So, if I know this, big tip for the day, pro tip, right? Make your plate match your activity level. All right. So the foods that you eat, that needs to match the exercise, the activity that you do. So if I know I'm going to have a turkey and cheese sandwich on wheat bread, obviously that's a lot more sodium than I usually take in. Obviously that's a lot more carbohydrates than I usually take in. So it's time for me and my dogs to go on 3 runs a day. It's time for me to schedule more appointments with the clients that I do have so that I can keep my body in a position where it's not jiggling in the wrong places when I do go run. So when I know my nutrition shift, again, here's the balance, that pendulum of nutrition, cardiovascular endurance, and resistance training. My nutrition quality has decreased because financially, I can't go to the same stores or buy the same cuts of meat, the lambs, like you said, and all this that I used to be able to buy. So because that quality has decreased, I have to increase my resistance training and increase my cardiovascular endurance, right? Because I want my calories to match at the end of the day. But also, when that does happen, make sure you're taking a multivitamin. Right? Make sure that you are getting to bed on time. Make sure that you are still getting a wide range of foods, vegetables, all that, to really sustain your micronutrient level. Those are your vitamins, your minerals, your small things that aren't just your macros like carbs, fats, and proteins. So, big pro tip, make your plate match your exercise. Make your exercise match your plate. If you want to sit there all day and snack on cookies and ice cream and this and that, what's your exercise look like? What does your cardio look? How many times are you walking around the block? How many times are you, hitting the weights? If you have resistance bands, doing something. So that's how you don't just sit down and blow up, right? Even if you decide I'm going to stand up from my 8-hour workday, if your job was transitioned home, get up. You don't have to sit down all day. No one's requiring you or limiting you to that same cubicle that you had before. Get up. It's your house. It's your apartment. You can use all outside. You have the internet, praise the Lord. Go. Stay active and do it. Okay? So pro tip, make your plate match your exercise and vice versa. If you want to have a high calorie day, do a high calorie workout. If you choose not to do a high-calorie workout, adjust your nutrition accordingly.
That's good. Now, when we talked about the nutrition piece, okay, so that I think, so I don't want anybody feeling guilty if, hey, listen, I'm trying to make it. I can afford a PB&J sandwich.
Right.
I can afford the lunch meat. I can afford the bologna or what, and those stretch I can feed my family.
Yep.
What Coach Cailah is saying, which is amazing, is make sure that you make your plate match your activity. So we talked about the plate. Now let's talk about the activity.
Yes, sir.
You can't get to the gym. You have, let's say you're in an apartment. Okay, sometimes your house is a little bit easier because you might have a backyard or front yard, a patio, you have room, you can do stuff. Let's say you're in an apartment, okay? You don't have any fitness equipment around, okay? What are some things that people can do to help to make sure that their activity matches their plate?
One of the biggest thing is that God gifted us with the great outdoors. Amen. So with the great outdoors, we want to use it. Use what God has given us, right? So you can choose to say, all right, I tell all my clients, every single one of my clients have a challenge every week. The goal is to reach or exceed 150 minutes of cardio outside of our exercise sessions. So that means outside of their 2 or 3 times meeting with me for online workouts, they have to go outside or do jumping jacks in the house or do high knees or jog in place or whatever else. But the challenge is get 150 minutes of cardio specifically outside of your workout sessions. So if you can't get outside, if you live in the Fay in Cincinnati, obviously outside is not the best thing for you. But in your space, again, jumping jacks, high knees, imaginary jump ropes. If you don't even have a jump rope, you have your body. Your body is one of the biggest challenges that you have to conquer. There are still some movements that I can't do. I can't do a full clap push-up, but that's something I can work towards. And hey, that's a new challenge. It's going to burn more calories. It's a mental challenge. It's going to keep me on pace. So there are just tips and tricks that I do in my practice to help people stay engaged, to help them stay almost fortified against the psychological changes of what has been happening in COVID-19. And a lot of those things are, okay, now the real challenge is, since you're stuck at home with yourself, how about we try and master you? That's the last thing to do. You can have as many master's degrees, doctor's degrees, or certifications as you want to, but can you really master you? And that's why I love exercise. I love it because it's a challenge. You know, not a lot of people could beat me running track. Some did. But if I beat my previous record, cool. Not a lot of people can beat me in weightlifting. But if I can beat my previous record, then I'm still proud of myself. I'm better than where I was. Now, I know I can't go and lift at the gym like I would love to. And I too fell into a whole rut. I fell into a rut where I'm like, I can't go to the gym. I can't do what I want to. I can't do this. And I'm sitting there looking at myself. You got a whole floor you can use. I can do cartwheels if I want to. You know, so it's really about deciding what you want to do. It's really about deciding to be successful. There is a story about, I believe the captain was Napoleon. I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. So there is a story about a warlord, right? And he took his army to this island, and they were going to conquer it. Again, I believe it was Napoleon. I've heard somebody in Spain as well. And what he did, took his whole naval army. And so they got out the ships, and he told one of his captains, he said, go burn the ships. So middle of the night, there are thousands of people on this shore, and all they're doing is looking back, and they're just like, oh shoot, my way home is demolished. It is literally set on fire. There is no way I can get home. So what Napoleon does is he says, if you want to go home, if you want to see your wife, if you want to see your kids, if you want to see this, that, and the other, you better win today. So that's what my challenge is to everybody watching this. You better win today. Winning is a decision. Success is a decision. What happens is that decision is burning all the bridges, burning all other options, burning all other boats behind you. If you want to live, make the decision to be successful. That's tantamount in what I do with all my clients, is I encourage them on a daily basis, make the decision. You always have options. You can lay down and die if you want to, but if you don't want to, if you want to be successful, make that decision. Burn up all of the options. You have one path and one thing to do, which is be successful. Go exercise. I don't care if it's 10 minutes walking outside a day. If you don't reach my 150 minutes, cool. What did you get? You got 60 minutes? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Next week, let's get 61. Let's get 62. So it's just about getting ourselves to a position where we got a little ego. That's what I get from Dad. I really get my ego and my attitude from Daddy, where I'm not going to let anyone stand in my way, including the person in the mirror. If I look at that little Negro in the mirror and that Negro is holding me back, something's got to change. Either the mirror's breaking or I'm changing my mirror. But either way, I am making the decision to be successful in the things that I want to. So that's how we become, healthy. Because it's not about, oh, well, I don't like healthy foods, and oh, well, I don't have this, and I live in an apartment, and the oven's really small. Burn the bridge, sis. Burn the bridge. Those are excuses. Excuses are tools of the incompetent. You are competent. You know I had to throw that in there. But we want to put ourselves in a position to be successful, to be healthy. And for a majority of people, that starts here. That starts here. Yeah. It starts with you. It starts here.
You said something, and I'm going to finish. The tools of the the monuments, the nothingness, and those things seldom accomplish anything. My sister is a member of a really good organization. I am a member of an amazing organization called the Untitled Chapter. But I want to get to something you said. You're talking about when you're thinking about excuses and you're thinking about success. Sometimes I think what happens. Sometimes I think people they don't forecast properly, which means there's a goal that they have in mind, and sometimes they shoot so far out that they can't manage it. Like you ever heard somebody saying at the home, you're watching at home, have you ever felt like you bit off more than you could chew? Mm-hmm. And then you try to chew it and you end up choking on it. So sometimes when we set our goals, we got to try to set things that are attainable that we can do. So I'll give you an example. Let's say walking is intimidating. Let's say some of this stuff is intimidating for you. Let's start somewhere. So let's go tomorrow. Let's say you have another Zoom meeting and you're sitting there like, man, we're going to have a Zoom meeting. And usually you would sit. How about you just start standing? That's a place to get started. It's simple. Standing is when you're Zoom meeting as opposed to sitting. So I think so here, what are some even more simple ways or adjustments that people can make at home just to get started? Because I know sometimes the hardest thing is getting started. But what are your thoughts on it?
It's funny that you mentioned that. I've got a Sora watching. Vicky, so she was one of my members at Rock Solid Fitness out in Baltimore. And this sis was hilarious. I think she lost about 30 or 40 pounds working with me. And truth be told, most of the work was done away from me. She may have come to 2 or 3 sessions a week, which is only, 2 or 3 hours a week. However, I don't know the number of hours per day, but I'm gonna show you what sis did. Now, she was an educator. She is an educator. So she would be in her classroom. Now she's working with kids, right? She's sitting here on her board, just Vicky, am I telling the truth? She's sitting there right on the board talking to her classes and, hey students this, hey that. You can sit there. What's stopping you from doing this? Now, on top of that, we talking about biting off more than you can chew. What if you don't have any legs? Don't worry. I've worked with paraplegics before. I got something for you. You sit down here and you say you can grab that leg, here and here and here. Hey, dance move what? Dance move what? There's always something that you can do. Oh, don't shake your head. All you need to do is be active.
When my little sister was growing up, my parents were concerned. They were concerned because my little sister didn't have any rhythm. They thought to themselves, we're gonna raise a child that I just want to throw that out there.
I remember that.
Because some sort of rhythm, and I'm very proud of her for developing. Go ahead.
I remember that, but I gained my black card. I remember we were at Thanksgiving somewhere in Kentucky, and there was that was the family reunion, and we had a big dance off, and I was dancing, and Mom took me aside, and she was just like, "Cailah, I was worried about you for a minute, but you turned out all right." But simple tips. To like Vicky, I promise you, I met one of your students. He was one of my athletes. I don't remember who he was right now, but he was just like, hey, you remind me of my teacher. And I'm like, which one? She told me. And she's like, she's always dancing and moving in the classroom. And I'm like, yep, I know who that is. But the tip is, or the trick is, again, if it's okay, if you bite off more than you can chew, that means that you have attempted more than what your body is able to. If I take a turkey leg, big old fat turkey leg, I bite into it. If it's too much, I'm going to take some out and finish eating. That's what we don't get from that whole concept when you bite off more than you can chew. Okay, spit some out, finish eating. Don't stop. It doesn't mean quit the entire meal because your first bite wasn't pleasant. It means adjust. It means adjust. So if you're at home, again, stand up, part one, walk around. Every 10 minutes, walk around the house. You know, I don't care if you're in a wheelchair, roll around the house. All right. So there's always exercises and activities that you can do. If you're not following me yet, please follow me. It's Coach Cailah. Go to my website, CoachCailah.com. It's CoachCailah.com. I've got plenty of tips and tricks, but also on Mondays, for Mondays in May at 6 p.m., I'll be hosting a live online workout where sometimes you do need someone to tell you what to do because you might not know. But if nothing else, you can do imaginary jump rope. You can do high knees, march in place. You can put on some music and dance with the kids. It's all about doing something because don't forget, just like you watched your parents, and some of the reason why you are the way you are today is because of what they did. So now it's time for you to set a positive example for your children. Get them up with you. Get them in the kitchen with you. Get them cooking. Get them active. Have family time. Go outside. Go walk. Every phone call, stand up. Every hour, do 10 push-ups, modified or otherwise. Do pull-ups. Do something. Literally, do something. And I promise you'll end up better than where you started.
I like that. The major gems you're dropping here. We're going to do a lightning round here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just joining us, welcome to night 2 of the Post-COVID Ready workshop series. We have 2 different audiences going on here. We're doing a new way of fun. I have my sister, but also an expert, Coach Cailah, here with us, telling us how we can be healthy in this post-COVID world. Mm-hmm. If you have questions about something, think about them right now, because we're going to do a question and answer session here at the end. So if you're joining us here on Zoom, you can put your question in the chat. You can also put your question in the comment section. Mm-hmm. On Michaela's Facebook, you can put your question in the comment section. On my Facebook, and we're going to get those here in a minute.
So,
Michaela, some really quick stuff here.
Yep.
If someone, give me some do's and some don'ts, really quick, down and dirty. What are some things that people should be doing right now to prepare as we open up and to get your body ready to go? Some do's. What are some right now?
Most importantly, you want to maintain a schedule. So if you are going back to work, even if you're not going back to work, God forbid, maintain a schedule, right? So that means set your alarm clock and get up. Wash your butt, wash your face, brush your teeth, go do something active. I don't care if it's 10 jumping jacks or 10 push-ups or 10 squats or 10 abs, all 3. Hey, let's take that. 10 jumping jacks, 10 push-ups, 10 squats, and 10 abs. Those 4 exercises. Do that every single hour. Simple. Every single hour until you go to bed. But maintain a schedule. So you want to have your meetings at a certain time. Get out of the bedroom. Because that's important psychologically. That is a place of rest, a place where you're going to chill. Some people eat and snack. Go away from where you're going to eat and snack and put yourself in a position where you can be successful. Put some clothes on. A lot of times I might put khakis on. I might put some dress socks on and a belt, like I'm wearing a little uniform to kind of make me feel like I'm going into the office. Even though I work from home, sometimes I got to trick myself too because everybody is different. So do set a schedule. Do get out of your bedroom. Do something active every hour. Don't eat whenever. Don't eat whenever. Have a schedule. Now, if your schedule fluctuates, okay, fine, but have a schedule. If you work night shift and your breakfast has to be at, 3 p.m., okay, perfect, that's fine. But have a schedule that you can sustain every single day. That does include your meal times, your exercise times, and places to do each of those. Set a schedule that contains meal times, exercise times, and designated places to do those. Don't try and exercise in your bedroom if every time you go in there you sit down or you lay down. Right? That was a do and a don't. Another do and don't is don't buy things you know you don't need. You know you shouldn't. it's not about being comfortable. You can be comfortable later, but if your body has declined during this COVID situation, then obviously you being comfortable isn't a good thing. So let's change that. Be okay with being uncomfortable, meaning go to the grocery store, buy something green, right? Again, if you want to stay on the cost-effective sides, buy frozen fruits, frozen veggies. I bought a lot of beans. You don't even like beans like that, but I know just in case end of the world happen, I'm going to eat. So buy the things that can sustain you and that are healthy. If it comes in some kind of wrapper, usually it's not the best. So you want to stay away from those things. Set yourself up to be successful. Maintain that schedule of going to the grocery store, getting outside. So do buy what you need that is going to advance and promote your health. Don't buy unnecessary snacks that you don't need, especially if your health is already at risk, because we haven't gotten truly into health and nutrition when it comes to, well, what are you eating that is compromising your body? Because right now, it seems as if African Americans are almost more susceptible to this virus than others. Reason being, I think it's because we eat like crap. We poison ourselves. The thing is that no one is holding a gun to our heads to eat the way that we do. But the way that we eat is what is pulling the trigger of that gun. It's crazy. I tell people all the time, every presentation I do, I talk about a subject or a concept I call suicide. We, as African Americans, commit suicide on a daily basis with what we do and do not put in our mouths, with what we do and do not physically do with our bodies. So if what you are consuming is not aiding in your health, your skin, your beauty, in something, then it is hurting you. If it's not helping you, it literally will hurt you. Your body doesn't have a lot of gray area. You either do it and get this result, or you don't and get this result. I did a presentation the other day, and I shared that food is information. So again, food is information. Every granule of whatever it is that you eat, it tells your body to do something. It can tell your body to promote health. It can tell your body to promote disease. If I eat sugar, is that going to promote health or disease? Disease. If I eat this, what is that going to promote? So we're in a position where we have to change our nutrition. And it's not about being comfortable. It's about changing our mindset, burning all the bridges, and setting a path forward for you and for generations behind you. Another quick fact, I know I'm really rambling, but I spoke to a genetic nutritionist, genetic registered dietitian a few months ago. And this sister told me something, is a white lady, but still, she told me something that was absolutely amazing. She said, you are what your grandparents ate. You are what your grandparents ate. What that means is that our bodies, when we consume food, it changes our bodies on the molecular and the genetic level. So if you eat like booty, what do you think your kids are going to have to face? They're going to have what we call in the church those generational curses. That ain't no curse. That's your choice that you did. That is not a curse. I'm tired of church folks sitting here praying for better health and doing this and doing that, and they go home and they eat like trash. God ain't gonna bless you. He's not. You have to do it for yourselves. He's not gonna bless your kids because you can't make the decision to burn the bridges of these negative habits, of these unhealthy habits, and change your life. Because you can't, just as we are what our grandparents ate, my grandkids are going to be what I ate, what I eat. So I have to be very protective and not just selfish to me today. So the biggest point is, if you want to change this world, like I used to be confused at what my ministry was. Like, well, I mean, I'm a good teacher, but I'm a little too slang, I'm a little too young, a little too this to get on somebody's pulpit. well, I'm not really a preacher because I really don't like, I'm not really this, I'm not really that. But the thing is that what we have in our nutrition really changes our generation. And it can. What we do with our bodies, it can really set your kids apart from someone else's kids. We look at white folks and it's like, well, they start off on a better foot. Have you ever thought that one of the reasons might be how they take care of their bodies? I'm just saying, it's something to think about. So if we want to change how we show up in this world as African Americans, whether it be today or in future generations, change how you eat. I promise we'll see something different about 20, 30 years. Change it.
So it's got a whole lot there.
I know, my bad.
Let me unpack some of this for everybody watching. So there's a couple things. One, I believe that God blesses us sometimes not because we've done something amazing, but just because he loves us. Not so much that we've earned it, but because he loves us.
Yeah.
So that's important to say. Now, that being said, though, I don't believe ignorance, our willful ignorance, makes him happy. So if we have the ability to make wise decisions on how we take care of our temples, we should. So if you have the ability to make better, good decisions, you have the ability to think about what you're putting inside because it affects how you do what you shouldn't make wise. And what you said was profound, even more so than you realize, because there is everything that you put inside is going to have an effect, not just in your present, but it's going to have an effect in your future, meaning your children, your children's children, and your seed. See, everything that grows will produce fruit, and the fruit that is produced also has seed inside of it. If you go outside and there's an apple tree out there, and there's an apple on that tree, the seed inside of that apple that is there to make other apples. So what you said was profound on multiple levels. Also, let me say this, that there are some issues that affect everyone regardless of race and regardless of culture. And so a lot of times it's more about our culture than it even is about our race. You know, sometimes based on culture, based on our socioeconomic status, what we're exposed to, we're not exposed to, what we're taught and what we're not taught, sometimes has an effect on our lifestyle and what we teach others. So I think people think about us being here in this space, now we have the opportunity to expose ourselves to things that we might not have been blessed to be exposed to earlier. And so I challenge you, your audience on your Facebook, anyone that's here with us on Zoom, and audience here, to, regardless of how you started in your life, regardless of what you were taught, regardless of what you were given, take the opportunity to better yourself. And I like what you said. You talked about, and actually I think it was a Viking captain, but I like the Napoleon part better. So I might use that one.
I don't know who it was.
Talking about, it's okay. Talked about burning these boats. There are, in some ways, with what we're dealing with, there's some ways there will be no going back. There's some things that will go back to normal, whatever that will look like. But in some ways, there are some boats that will be burned, whether you want them to be burned or not. There's some things that will not go back. And so what you said, Coach Cailah, is great because it's important that people continue to look forward, not look back anymore. How can you be better? Not just yourself, but also better for your children and for your grandchildren. So let's start with you first. Do you have any questions on your Facebook Live that you can do first? Any questions at all there?
Yeah, I haven't seen me, but guys, if you're watching, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them. I'm watching you. So if you have questions for me when it comes to your nutrition, it comes to your fitness, when it comes to, how do you maintain or even start your new lifestyle, your healthy lifestyle now as Ohio opens or as your state is beginning to open, please go ahead and type your questions in. We'll get to them really shortly, okay? But type them in. I'm here for you. Here to answer these questions.
One of the most someone wondering is, let's say, hey, they're inspired, they're encouraged, they're ready to get started. how do they do it? How do they get connected to you? What's the best way to get connected to you?
The best way is honestly here on Facebook. So my Facebook is Cailah Brock, Cailah. So connect with me here. I also have a Facebook business page. Either one, connect. I have 2 groups that you can join. One is called Black Fitness Fanatics, because my ministry is just, whatever. But it's Black Fitness Fanatics. Go ahead and join that group where it's got a lot of exercise tips and fun stuff. It's a great community. And the other, which is my new baby, which is called Nutrition for Black Women. And that's where I really dive into nutrition, and I dive into the differences of nutrition for us. Because I believe that we as women, that we control our household in terms of our health and our wellness. Usually, it's us who goes to the store. Usually, it's us who's eating. Usually, even if the man does go to the store, we can fuss and fight on what we want. So we have a lot of control, and it's time to use that and change. Because if I can start with the Black woman, that Black woman can shape that Black family, and that family can shape their communities, so on and so forth. So please join my group. It's called Nutrition for Black Women, as well as Black Fitness Fanatics. I have several blogs on nutrition for Black women that I really identify the differences for us, because we are genetically different. Our motto is literally culturally and genetically different. So I really address those differences from us to different cultures, different whatever, so that we can understand what our bodies need, because we are the ones who are primarily suffering in America. And it's due to our lack of knowledge, our lack of will, and sometimes our ability to even put forth this information. So join me, Facebook, also on Instagram, it's Coach Cailah. LinkedIn, Cailah Brock, everything is my name. Find me and connect with me. Feel free to email me as well at coachcailah@gmail.com.
So I was thinking through, why are we doing this? There are some amazing resources out there, like Coach Cailah, like First Williams we had last night, and some amazing other guests that we have coming up. And then there are people that need the resources. And so sometimes we want to create a space where we're able to connect resources to people that need them most. The world that we come in is different from the world that we left. And so we understand that to make sure that in the opportunity better. We really want you to be better and stronger and more successful and healthier in every way possible. I hope that your audience there at home, I hope that anyone on Zoom, and I hope that the audience here got something out of this. And I think that, it's like a sermon that I have a lot of people in the audience, the congregation, and preachers preaching, and each person can maybe get something different. So I hope that you're able to get something from this that you can apply to your life, can support your family, it can grow in some way in your life. Hopefully this was a blessing for you.
And Saya,
thank you.
My people,
Coach Cailah.
And I was going to say, Saya, my people don't really know who you are. So please give an intro to Josiah Brock. Josiah Brock, ladies and gentlemen. Josiah Brock.
So my name is Josiah Brock. I've been your host here tonight. I am a cultivator. I'm a consultant. I'm a man of God. And so my job is to help to connect people to the resources that will help them to grow, to help them to be better. And so I think I did that, and that's why we did this. In charge with, we want this to be a resource. And I hope that if this was a blessing that you would like to maybe go deeper with experts in your own journey, so that you can help benefit from your own. And I hope that we're able to do that. If you want to stay connected with me, the fastest way to do it is check out my website, josiahbrock.com. josiahbrock.com. Just stay connected with me. We're going to try to do more amazing stuff throughout this year. Sign up for my newsletters every day with amazing stuff that we have coming out. But it's a blessing to come before you. Thank you, Coach Cailah, for allowing me to hang out with you and for spending time with your audience there. Thank you for lending your time and your talent to everyone here. Again, I encourage everybody, if you missed the video last night, please go back and check it out. If you joined it late, just rewind it catch up in all of it. We have a really amazing, great workshop coming up on Thursday. We're going to talk about your spiritual fitness. So here today we talk about your physical health. Yep. Did you know that you can spiritually out of shape? Oh, that's going to be deep. We're going to dive into that on Thursday. So please come back and hang out with us there. Do you have anything else for the good and word to add? Oh, and someone asked, can you read the name of your book again? What's the name of your book?
Oh, thank you.
Someone wants to go buy your book.
The name of the book is called Design Your Body. That's my motto. Design Your Body. Your Guide to Cutting Through the Fat. It is available on Amazon, on Kindle, on whatever. So go to, just type in Google, Design Your Body. Your Guide to Cutting Through the Fat. I recently just sold out of all of my DVDs, so my 25-minute workout DVDs. But also, guys, again, for the month of May, this is 2020, for the month of May, every Monday I will be doing a 6 p.m. virtual workout. It's $10. So go to CoachCailah.com and sign up for my Monday 6 p.m. workout. If you are a current client, because I love you, you get the free discount code because I'm already going to provide you with excellent value for everything that you already have. If you're just joining, if you don't want the full program, you just want to see my face and work out with me, every Monday, 6 p.m. CoachCailah.com. Sign up, $10. Follow me. Follow Josiah Brock. Again, he is an amazing business coach. I call him all the time and asking questions on my own business. So part of my success is attributed to him and to his practice and to his business. So those of you, I know how we are. Yesterday we talked about financial wellness. The man talked about 7 streams of income. So if you want to add a stream of income, if you have a business that you just want to birth, if you have ideas that you want to have a consultant actually really dive in with you, contact this man right here, Josiah Brock. I'm not just saying that because he's my brother, but I'm saying that because he's actually pretty good. So JosiahBrock.com, again, sign up for the newsletter, contact him directly, and he can really help you help your business. Yeah, sign up, JosiahBrock.com.
That's a great commercial. We're still recording.
I'm working on it.
Well, if there's nothing else, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Please come back and see us again on Thursday at 7 o'clock here on my page. And please like this page from your audience. If you're in this audience, please go like Coach Cailah. Thank you for both of us to help grow. God bless you. Guys have a good night, okay?
Design your body. Bye, Facebook.